Hello, and thank you again for joining Roz Shelley and Shelley Davenport as we have our afternoon tea. Yes, you've only got me today, Roz, so thank you very much for joining us. So after our last session, I got an email which is quite curious about, could I explain the difference in my mind what investment properties and second homes are? And although we will talk about it, they are pretty interchangeable. What we're trying to do is rent something out to cover some costs, and often it's to help towards the mortgage or the condo or homeowners association fee. So for my definition, the investment property would be, for example, if I bought someone a townhouse or a detached house or condo with the sole idea this is going to be a year-round rental. This way we have the ability to carry on, get our mortgage paid for, not out of our funds. And we also hope that in the long term, when the house is paid off, we can still carry on renting it. And this is very good to have in your retirement portfolio because it will bring in some income, but you also have the capital in it should you actually need the capital to help assist you in your general living or long-term care, whatever it would need to be. So let's go on more cheery things, our second home. That's something where the family are also going to enjoy staying there, your friends or family or whatever you want. But it doesn't mean it's free or you can wildly afford some of these beautiful houses. So now we have to look at our second home. How much are we going to use it? How much money can we afford to put into this, for the mortgage and for its upkeep? And as I mentioned, those nasty HOA and condo fees. There's many different ways to do this. Obviously, the most popular places to go is to have something on a beachfront or close to the beach at least. Or people tend to want to go to lakes. And if you're not on one of those, then people are looking more for the amenities. They're looking for golf courses or nice trips or sorts of things. But they do want great facilities wherever they are. They still want to be able to get to restaurants. They still want to be able to get to some shops. It doesn't mean it has to be touristy, but everybody needs to go out. If you've got one spouse that enjoys hitting the golf course, it's rather good that the other one could at least go shopping or go to the spa or something. Very few people go away and just want to do nothing for 2 weeks. Obviously, there's an element, and those houses also rent, but obviously for less money. So let's go back to what we're talking about, which is more the resort type of effect. So how much can you afford? How much are you prepared to subsidize it? Let's say we have a biggish house with or without a pool that rents for 3 months of the year. And that will also depends very much on state to state, county to county, and resort to resort. So you must make sure before you buy that it fits in. In Florida, it's typically 3 months. You can rent once, a minimum of 3 months. That's generally the rule, particularly on the sort of west coast of it, sorry, the Naples side, which I know well. So going back to there, you need to make sure that what you can rent out is going to suit your goals. Maybe you need to rent it out for longer. Now, then it brings you, do you want your own house? Do you want to be part of a resort? And I'm already saying I think it's easier with a resort because you also don't have to worry about the property management side of it, which I'm going to get to again in a minute. So how much can you afford? So you need to work backwards. How much can I afford to subsidize it? Am I putting down a lot of money? So my costs are really the condo fee or the resort fee, my golf fees. What are your actual costs? Do you need to cover those? That will help dictate. We go back to our $3,000 a week house. Will that actually cover everything? Do I need to rent it for longer? Maybe I can do 3 months at top rental and then 2 months at a lesser amount. And then you can afford to do it. So go back to working backwards. Work out what your costs will physically be of the size of the house you've got. How many hidden costs there are. There's always hidden costs in everything. And then you can work out how much mortgage and how much you can afford to subsidize the whole thing. If you're putting down 100%, as we say, it's just your costs. If you can only afford to put down 20%, which is usually what you have to do on a second home of any sort, then obviously your costs are going to go up and it's going to be harder to do it. Now, there are in a few of the resorts on the East Coast, I'm sure there's some on the West Coast that I know of, where if you buy into a community, Captiva is one of them, the one at Hilton Head also does it, where you can actually buy into it, say a condo, and they will agree to rent it out for you. So you don't have any costs. If you decide you want to use that 2 weeks of the year or give it to your friends or whatever, it doesn't matter. You can choose your 2 weeks. and do what you want. Obviously, it would deduct from it being a 365-day rental, and I believe their rates would change quite considerably if you choose to go there. But that way you have nothing to do with it. And again, maybe you're feeling in 5 years, I can actually start using it more. I don't need to rent it that much. There's many, many different ways to buy things, but do work out your finances and make sure you can cover the costs. If I can help you any further, please feel free to reach out to me. But thank you again for spending time with me, and I hope this was interesting to you. Thank you, and look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.